guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about mass-marketed student model instruments. These instruments are going to fall in the $5,000 or less category. To me, this means affordable in regards to bassoon. Now, I know that this is still a large chunk of change, but when bassoons can range in price from about $2,000 for some used instruments, all the way up to $40,000, even sometimes $50,000 for the top of the line instruments, $5,000 or less really does hit that affordable instrument category. I do have to note that I did cheat a little bit and I added in the Fox 240 only because you guys requested it as you found out I was doing this series. And I also included a Fox Renard 222 simply because it is so close to that $5,000 budget that if you have the opportunity, you might find one used, and if it is used, there will be a price reduction, and that would push it into our price range. So let's go ahead and cut away to the sound clips. Okay, now that you have a foundation of what each of the instruments sounds like, let's go through a discussion of the instruments and the pros and cons of each. We're going to start at the lowest end of the financial market for bassoon, which means we are going to start with polymer plastic instruments. Now, there are two types of polymer plastic. There is the polypropylene, which was utilized in the Fox 41. And there is the ABS, which was utilized in the Nobel PVN B2A. You might already be familiar with some of the tone colors that were in the Nobel bassoon simply because the ABS is also utilized in creating student model clarinets. There are some differences in the keys. Of course, the Nobel is going to have a greater level of keys, giving you the high D and E key, as well as the whisper key lock. The price cost comparison of the Fox 41 versus the Nobel PVN B2A is about $1,500. The Fox 41 comes in at $4,950, whereas the Nobel comes in at $3,495 if you utilize the ERYN OFT discount code. Even though there is a discount code for the price cost comparison of the Nobel PVN B2A as well as the Fox 41 is an industry standard, I have to admit that I would not recommend either of these instruments, both for completely separate issues. On the Fox 41, I found that as I was playing the scale going over the break from F to G, I had issue with getting that half hole from F to G clean in a way I never have before. I was also slightly frustrated that the portion of the bassoon that comes together has a seam down it, and the seam hits directly in line with the tone holes. So as my fingers were trying to feel the tone holes as I moved through the different notes, I was distracted because there was an extra ridge and bump that I consistently hit. That is not standard on maple bassoons, and I found it distracting. The Nobel PVN B2A I would not recommend simply because I had issue with keeping the scale even. I found that D sat low overall throughout all of the registers, but especially in that tenor register, I could not get an even B flat major arpeggio to save my life. And I can't tell you how many times I recorded it to try to fix it. I have mentioned it to Justin Miller at Miller Marketing that is selling Nobel bassoons, and he is going to go ahead and look into it and see if there can be something done to adjust that. For starter programs and beginner bassoonists, usually for band programs, orchestras, or class woodwinds at college, I would actually recommend mass-marketed instruments such as the Nobel PVN B1W. This instrument is going to be made out of a wood composite. Specifically, it is ground up grenadilla mixed with epoxy. This is going to give a greater tone color than that of plastic, simply because you are dealing with a wood material being utilized in production. I found that this instrument allowed me to get darker colors, and I could get darker colors the more I adjusted the reed. I also love that the key system is almost exactly like the Fox 240, so you're getting all of the keys that you could ever need, extra rollers to boot. And for the price of this one, coming in at $3,995 with the ERYN OFT discount code, of course. Now, with that discount code, that means that you can buy 2 Nobel wood composite instruments for the cost of 1 Fox 240. Or you can buy 2 Nobel wood composite instruments for the cost of 1 Moosemann M24. So for beginning programs that really do need the number of instruments, this offers a great financial bonus. It offers full key mechanisms, and I have to admit I did not have the same intonation problems in the same way on the wood composite instrument as I did on the plastic ABS Nobel. So that is something to consider. Okay guys, I hope you found this helpful in your looking for bassoons adventures. I hope that I gave you some different ideas to look at and some things to look out for. I do have detailed quality comparisons on the blog so that you can go ahead and look for all of the elements that you're looking for your program or your bassoon adventures to set you up for success. If you want to keep up on all my adventures, there is always Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you don't want to miss a future video and you're not already, you might want to click that subscribe button. I do sometimes have discount codes like today. You don't want to miss out. All right, if you liked this, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. And I go ahead and feed the wire end through the vocal. Now I do it wire end first because then as the wire end comes out, the other end, I have something to pull onto, and it also makes sure that all of those little bristles are working in the opposite direction that all of the gunk originally went through the vocal.